update on search process.
Hey, join me in thanking James for So, a couple of things I just wanted to share in terms of personal context for things moving forward, a little bit of backstory on things. My oldest got married this last weekend. Yay. We were honeymoon in Montana. So I heard Tony and said you did good on that one. And so off they went. One of the groomsmen was his student ministries director when he was in school. So these people play a tremendous role in their lives that's lasting and makes such a deep impact. It's quite wonderful to see how those things unfold. And whoever is selected will be the student ministries director that my youngest then grows up with. So Anna will be a 6th grader next year. She's rising 5th. So when I think about it personally, I think about Brian Green, a guy in Kentucky who's a wonderful high school teacher who took on that position first on a full-time basis, and then later wanted to go back into school teaching, but kept the position. Kind of working 2 jobs really, and did a great job. And I think the impact that had on Sean. And I think about the next person, the impact here that'll have for Anna. So who knows how all that unfolds for sure. So for me, it's very familial, it's very personal, and not just professional. It's not just somebody down the hall that I get to work with, though that of course would be true. So the people that were on the search team at the beginning of the spring have worked incredibly hard. They have done remarkable work. I'm so grateful for each of them. And I'd like for those who've been part of that to stand. And we just want to say thank you to you. I'm going to embarrass you slightly, if that's all right. So Tammy, Deb, and he's out there, and Melissa as well. Thank you guys. Tremendous work. And they laid a great groundwork. They were laboring under some time pressure. The kind of stated goal at the outset was, well, Sherman's on his way to Daystar, and that new position in which we greatly rejoice. We're very, very glad for him and his new position there. And the hope was whoever was selected might be able to work with him for even as much as a month, kind of an overlap and transition. But that left a very narrow window in which to get some work done. And they narrowed the field down to a few candidates. One in particular, majority of folks on the committee felt very, very comfortable with, but not everybody. And so when we got to the end of it, we're sitting there looking at things, and I'm looking at it going, okay, well, this is a fine candidate, good recommendation. As I assess things, that would be fine. But recognizing that, there's still a little uncertainty here. Then looking at it too, some uncertainty in the hearts of the candidate himself. And a lot of that had to do with the position, something about which I had some uncertainties to. So one of the things I asked when I got here was, please give me enough time for me to kind of sort through stuff and kind of figure things out. I want you to know I have all the answers now. I'm just really thrilled about that. Yeah, right. Anyway, you believe that I have some oceanfront property in Nevada that I don't sell you, but. We have a big adventure ahead of us, but I did feel this, and that is that we'd like to see the position elevated to a different place in the way in which the leadership structure looks, particularly the staffing structure. Because again, one of the things that I'm committed to is the visibility of this work in our ministry to young people and elevating that as much as possible. And that goes right the way through. I hope you saw the video that Kristen and her team put together for Mustard Seed. I mean, that's an amazing. If you haven't seen that yet, Kristen, where can they see that?
It's online. It's on YouTube. It's on our website.
Man.
And yeah, mustardseedpreschool.com.
Whatever we're doing with children, young people, young adults, right away, all the way through, it should be at treating it just the way Jesus did. Jesus said, you want to see the kingdom? And he took a child. Children were always on the margins in that culture. And he took a child and put a child right in the middle. He said, let's put it front and center right in the middle. So meeting of the SEC, and I thanked the team, the search team, and I was desperately afraid that they would think I was just undermining them by kind of suggesting to the candidate that he would not accept the position. So I just want you to know that I'm the guy who made that call. I called him up and I said, don't accept it. So if you're really mad, you believe me. All right, and here's why. I said, I think we need to change the way in which we view the position. And I think we need to kind of start over from where we're at. I think he did a great job. But he was facing a situation too where even the salary structure that was associated with it was going to put him in some significant challenges. No one, can I just tell you, just as ministers, no one who's in ministry ever wants to be the guy who says, I can't come because the money's not good enough. Nobody in gospel ministry wants to say that. Okay, but neither does anybody I know in gospel ministry want to say to his wife, let's pray really hard that it'll all work somehow in the end. So I just called him up and I just said, look, brother, minister to minister, who's an ordained minister serving in a PCA congregation, though he's not ordained in the PCA, I don't think this is a timely move for you. I don't think it's a timely move for the church. I think we have to do some deeper work. And we appreciate you, but my advice to you is to just hold off. And that was my counsel. And I called an SEC meeting, and I said, which is the session executive commission. It's nothing to do with football. I just thought I'd think I was asked earlier, by the way, when I earned my Longhorns, and inside joke here. And the commission met, and I said, look, here's what I think we need to do. Right now, this position, and this is a problem for the people on the search team, they're really looking for executive level ability, senior executive level ability, but it's a junior level position and a junior level salary. And you can't do that. You're going to, if you want executive level ability and experience, you're going to have to pay executive level pay, and you're going to have to give that person the responsibility and the authority to go do your job. And I want that person coming back and relating directly to me on the leadership structure and not to someone else. So I said, I put that before you and asked you to change it. So they put together a proposal which they then took through the whole session to make that change. That's a proposal that Dan mentioned earlier in the year, and I had said, give me some time to just see how things flow, see how things go. I need to understand a little bit more about how the structure works and what's happening. Folks here use completely different language about what those leadership structure titles are, so I was learning all those things too. But I do feel that now what we have, and Don Davis has done a good job reviewing the job description, is we're well positioned now. The session approved that change. So we will have the student ministries director, and this is the way it is currently now, even with the interim, will be at a director level position on the staff, and they'll be reporting to me. And so when the new search team is put in place, we will not give them a deadline, like please get this done in the next 3 months. I'm not going to do that. In fact, I have some very specific interviewing that I want them to do, not only with the search team that's already done tons of work, because they've done great work, and I don't want to do that to be lost. So I want them to kind of download all the information that they can. I want them to meet with a couple of folks who are RUF people to debrief them and what they're seeing coming in for campus ministries, what they're dealing with incoming college students. I'm going to ask them to do some further interviews with some other youth area specialists before they even look at a single kind of resume. Another change, though, that we'll make to this extended timeline, where there's really not a deadline, is if we come across someone at the coordinator level, high school and junior high, that we think is an all-star, and we want them, we're just going to hire them. The thinking, and it's good thinking, it was good thinking during the past process, given the deadlines involved, so we would get the senior position filled, and then let that person pick the other two. But in this situation, we have an extended time. We're not going to, if we come across somebody we think is just brilliant, we've got to have them. We're not going to say to that person, no, we can't hire you because we don't have this other position filled yet. So if we get somebody that's a grand slam, we're going to bring them on board in the high school and junior high coordinator positions. We don't have those people right now. Everyone's saying, oh, those are people to hire. But I am telling you that we're on the lookout. And if you come across those people, that's great. And James knows that part of his job is to interview potential candidates for that. So that's something that we're looking at praying into as well. I asked Leroy Bazell, St. Leroy, and John Reynolds from the session to work with me and put together a list of potential names for the next search committee. And they did a great job of it. And they contacted some people personally. But obviously, you know, when you sit down and you go, there's some people we really know. You can also miss some people who I might really want to be part of that, you just don't know it, can't know it. And but we're going to have an information meeting this Sunday, this coming Sunday at 11 o'clock. And I don't know that the room is certain. Do you know, Diane, if that room is?
Probably the boardroom.
Boardroom?
Yeah.
For people who are interested in applying, because there will be an application to be part of the search team. We're going to put together a search team of 7 with 2 alternates. Leroy and John are not on the committee, but they will be session liaison to assist the committee with whatever help they need. So they'll be there to assist. I will not be there. But they'll report back to John. And then finally, when they have a candidate to present, bring that person to me. So we're not going to put a deadline on it. We're just going to put it, we've got a good job description. We got a great vision for student ministries. It's very exciting to see how that's developing. And I believe God's going to bring us exactly the right person and the right team. And I know it's very hard for us as parents to kind of go, and it's hard sometimes for the kids to go, all these changes, and we can feel the pressure of their own hearts on those things. But you know what? I think God's called us to get it right. Just get it right. And if that takes 3 months, we'll take the 3 months. If it takes 6 months, we'll take the 6 months. And we'll get it right. And it has to be the kind of leader who is wide enough in his embrace to do yuck wars, right? And deep enough in his theology to make disciples that will transform the world. They can stand up to the onslaught of antithetical worldviews that they encounter in college. And we start seeing our young people be the ones not bailing on church, but building churches. That's the goal, is that they make that transition into college life and then into adulthood, and they become world changers in their own right. So it's a ministry that practices radical hospitality, which is something our whole church needs to learn to do. Welcoming people from all kinds of backgrounds, and wide enough in its embrace to welcome everybody, to bring them and make them feel a part of things, all of that kind of stuff. So that's going to be a big deal. Part of this is going to be, again, an attention to visibility. James and I met today. And James, you're going to see more of him on Sunday mornings on the platform. He'll be introducing the Haiti mission team report this Sunday. John Patton's going to deliver the report, but James is going to introduce it. You're going to see more James up front. And I met with Dave Hampton today. And I said to Dave, I want you to begin to include high school students in the worship group on Sunday mornings. Not just a separate high school worship team, but I want to see them up front. Okay? I want to see them begin to be incorporated into these things so that they understand again that they are part of this church, not the future church. I'm happy to work with you guys. And furthermore, just again, I'll kind of put the cat amongst the pigeons. There's been a kind of attitude which is, well, our kids are, well, they're baptized and then they kind of get an interview, you know, to come to communion. And then there's like, well, now I got to interview again before they can vote. You know, well, if you're a kid, when are you a member? You know, am I or am I not? And I'm going to, you know, be making proposals against all of that. And saying, if you're baptized and you're communing, you're a member, and you're going to vote, this is your church. And that's it, until we kick you out. If you start acting like you need to get kicked out, we'll kick you out and take away your voting privileges. But we'll work on it. And then, in August, here in a couple of weeks, I'm going to be giving a vision message. We'll take a little break from Ephesians. You guys are probably weary of Ephesians. We'll never get out. It's like swimming through peanut butter. We'll never leave. And we'll take a break on that. And I can't remember the date on that now. It's not the 31st. That will be the 24th. And on that Sunday, I'm going to be giving a kind of vision for the church message. And that's going to even include things like, what are we going to do facilities-wise for our kids? Where's construction fit into this? So, That means that after August 24th, lots of people are going to be going, wow, that's crazy stuff. And we'll have to like pray really hard because he's just going bananas. And but I'll roll some of that out on the 24th, meet with the elders about all that stuff. But we got facilities to build, we got staff to hire, we got a big job to do. We're going to do it right. We're going to take whatever time we need to take to get it done right. And you as parents, I believe, are key to how that all happens and having the right D group leaders. And I can't wait for that training time coming up in a couple of weeks. Scott Sauls is going to be tremendous. Brandon Addison, tremendous. Tony Giles is rolling back in on that. It's going to be tremendous. I say it's going to be tremendous. It'll be tremendous. So it's going to be a great training weekend, and looking forward to seeing how we equip people for the coming challenge. So that's kind of the state of play. So the information meeting for potential folks on a search team, that's this coming Sunday, 11 o'clock. Some folks have been contacted. If you really, really think you should be considered, and if you want to know more about what kind of questions you need to answer on that, you can talk to me afterwards. But that'll be Sunday at 11. We will have people on that search committee who are not connected with youth. You know, most of them will be, but there'll be a couple that are just have expertise in searches. And so that'll be going on. So it's going to be a great team. I have every confidence that prayerfully and patiently we can move forward and find the right way ahead. We've had great candidates. I'm the guy who said, let's just wait. And when I see James, I'm really glad. Personally, I'd hire him. They got their sights set on Paris, doing Young Life in Paris. I'm not really buying that. Personally, I think if we just promise to make croissants, really good croissants, I think maybe we can swing it. I don't know. But for some reason, they got this thing about Paris in their minds. So whatever. Well, we need to reach high school students in Paris. Anyway, I get it. I lived in London for 8 years, so I'm down. It's okay. All right, so I'll shut up there and see what questions you guys have before you pick up your sticky kids. No. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Where are we at, like, integrating special needs? And is there just kind of spur out there?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. And you know, I don't know that I can give you a really succinct or satisfactory answer to that. I don't know that that's intentionally been addressed. I'm not saying it hasn't been. I don't know that I can answer that. So perhaps, if you let me, I'll go talk to James and some others and see, okay, how do we approach that issue? Because of course there's a range, there's a spectrum on that, and see where we're at. Is that, and then come back directly to you?
David,
There's a question about, there's a question about where we at on being inclusive with regard to children with special needs. And how can we make sure that we're intentionally approaching that with faith and patience and love. And I need to go get some more information because I don't know. Okay, yeah.
I know in the past, groups, middle school was at a different hour. It was at the hour where the family stuff was happening. The senior high group was at a different hour. Any consideration of making it all the same hour?
I think that's what's happening.
So even the senior high and junior high D groups are going to happen at the same time, and then the senior high business an hour later?
Yeah, I think that's right.
Thank you very much.
I think that's right. And
Bible study for the adults.
for the adults, yeah, on Wednesday, are we talking Wednesday nights?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to spend the next 2 years teaching you through John's Gospel.
Okay, but everything's going to happen at the same time.
It will happen at the same time.
Right.
Yeah. So Wednesday nights, if you're not involved, if you're not leading a D group, and of course you should be, guilt, manipulation. But if you're not, I'll be doing this Bible study on John's Gospel, which is a lot of fun. Hope you can come.
So they will have childcare for at all ages?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, it's all happening. Great questions. Diane, what am I missing?
You got it all, boss.
Help the preacher.
I have you, but you got it.
Wow.
Good.
Nobody knows. Yeah, sorry.
Are you at all open to having any groups on a night other than Wednesday night?
Sure, absolutely. In fact, I think Don, you want to speak to that, about that possibility?
There have been some discussion with a lot of parents, and Tara, I know you're one, and I probably had this discussion with 3 different other parents who, because their kids are involved in sports, Wednesday nights is really, really tough. And so if you can't participate in D groups on Wednesday night, you feel kind of like you're missing the big thing that Student Ministries is. And so we were on a trajectory of looking at offering an alternative night, and that's actually, we're a little behind. I'd hoped that maybe this fall we would. That may still happen. I don't know. That's a conversation I have with James, but
Yeah.
perhaps by January, and the idea would,
What if some of us are just willing to, like, excuse my language, suck it up and take the responsibility on ourselves to lead that group?
well, there's another mom who's willing to suck it up too, so I can put you guys together. And yes, and
That's that lady is strong.
I love
Make this
we
happen.
need more people to suck it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but one of the times, and although you guys can talk about it because you might find a more suitable time, was a Sunday night, and rather than it would still be gender specific, but it would be junior, like 4 groups: junior high girls, senior high girls, junior high boys, senior high boys. So they'd be multi-age, and there wouldn't be like a time of worship and all and games and all that, but it would be that small group time, probably Sunday nights. That's what the proposal on the table is. That still needs to be developed.
Diane, yeah, it's not fully developed, and you're talking a January timetable as a possibility, but it could move up. It just
Yeah.
depends on people's ability to make it happen. But if you and Diane touch base afterwards, and then James can get in on that conversation, that would be the way ahead. Well, great, everybody. Thank you. Y'all are tremendous. I appreciate you being here tonight. Blessings upon you. Go in peace. Amen.
Wait, what about dinner on Wednesday night?
Oh, sorry, what?
We did
Dinner
Kaleo.
again on Wednesday night?
No, not a dinner. I don't think so. Diane, there's not a dinner Wednesday night, is there?
No.
No, not a dinner. Not a dinner.
Kaleo's gonna be over there.
Hold on a second.